We are back live. Okay, Lindsey. People are chomping at the bit to hear this info. They want to hear it all. I know you to tell it more in the DVD. We'll talk about that coming up in the next hour. But this is a short segment. Next one short, long one coming up. But I'm going to just sit back. He called you, thought he was close to dying, spilt his guts to you about the whole agenda. Start going through the bullet points. You got the floor.
The fall of the Republic, I'll tell you how long you've got. He told me. He made it very plain. I'm going to give you his exact statements. You want the punchlines? Here they are. I'll give them to you just as he told me. Now, keep in mind, folks, this is a man who knows everything that goes on behind closed doors. He's over 85 years of age. He almost died last winter. He confessed. Basically, all I can say is he told me everything that you can imagine. I have never had such information given to me before. He said, quote, within 2 years, you will not recognize America. Everything you're saying on this DVD of yours, Alex Jones, the fall of the Republic, it is true. You have 2 years or less, and it's gone. Your children and your grandchildren, according to him, will be nothing but slaves to the elite for the rest of their lives. Folks, we are selling our children and grandchildren to the elite within 2 years or less. They think that they have it made. I'd like to prove them wrong, Alex, and I think you're going to prove them wrong also. The next statement, he said the elite have altered their timeline. And we'll go into this more later in the show as we go along, but you've got to understand that the elite are not divine. They're human beings. They think they're divine most of the time, but they have had to alter their timeline. They did it because you gave them $2.5 trillion, approximately, dollars in the last 2 to 3 months of the Bush administration, and they have had to change a few things around. Next great statement he made. After 2 years, and folks, this is startling. I'm quoting him verbatim. After 2 years, you will be so poor, you will not be able to rebel. Now, they have a timeline, a 2-year period. Folks, we must do something within this period of time, or we are slaves, and we'll never be able to get out of it. This treaty that our president is signing here just in a matter of days, please understand what Alex is saying about this. It is only a part of the elite's program to be able to bring about what he said to me. He said, after 2 years, you will be so poor that you will not be able to rebel against them. You won't be able to buy an airline ticket. You won't be able to go somewhere to a rally. You won't be able to have another Boston Tea Party. They have it planned as far as inflation is concerned. His next statement, inflation will escalate over a period of 2 years. Again, crude oil prices, they will fluctuate a little bit, but they're still going to stay down way below what they were when it was $147 a barrel. Oh, please, sell all the gold you can, Alex. I don't care how much of my time you take in order to sell gold. I beg of you, get all the gold and silver you can in your hands, because he said to me, he said, gold and silver are all you can rely on. He again said, this is their currency. It's what they depend on. They don't depend on a piece of paper. They laugh at that. Again, by 2012, the dollar will be dead. Now, I'm just giving you the best I can. The statements, as I wrote them very fast, as he was giving them to me, 2012 is a timeline for them. I know it's a part of the Mayan calendar also, which I don't pay much attention to. But whenever a person like this of the elite, remember, 2 years ago, he said to me, the price of crude oil is going from $147 a barrel to $50 a barrel. Everybody thought I was crazy. In fact, I don't think you even let me on your show at first with that, Alex. It was so startling and
No, we had you on as soon as we learned about it. We'll be right back, Lindsey. All right, Lindsey Williams. Continuing, we're into hour number 2. You were going through, yesterday we didn't get into the chronology of events he gave you. We had just gotten up to the point where he was talking about bringing in inflation over the next 2 years. I just want to add that I run into a lot of high-powered people in Austin over the years, and I've heard repeatedly from people that are extremely wealthy. And once I ran into a very well-known person who knew who I was and just told me, I'm leaving the country. This is 2 years ago. They said, in the next few years, America won't exist. And I said, what does that mean? They said, you'll see. And then I went and looked up. I vaguely knew who they were. Went and looked them up and didn't even know they were worth billions of dollars and all this other stuff. So the point is, there's a lot of intel backing up what Lindsey's saying. Lindsey, continue.
You're right, Alex. They have a 2-year timeline. And, folks, I wish I could stress to you more. The first time I met the elite years ago, I was appalled that there could be people on the face of the earth who would intentionally manipulate governments, people, nations, currencies, and totally control it. And I need to elaborate again. There positively is a group of people on the face of the earth who control the world, and they've got 2012. He said the dollar will be dead. Now, here's the next one that he said that I'm still shaking. I mean, I must admit, I'm appalled. He said war is planned after 2 years. Folks, they plan these things. They know where they're going. They know what they're doing. And they're going to do it exactly as they said they were going to, because they know exactly. I mean, please believe me whenever I say that the elite know exactly what they're going to accomplish and how they're going to go about it. And they have war planned in 2012 or somewhere along in that area. And he even told me where it was going to start, how it was going to happen, what would happen. It would spread through the entire world. And every bit of this is okay. I'll elaborate more on point after point as Alex wants it. We must take action immediately. Get this DVD by Alex Jones. Please get out millions of copies of it. Do you realize that we've got 2 years? They have it planned. He gave me the figure, 2 years, over and over and over. You have 2 years, or your children and grandchildren will be slaves. As Alex said a moment ago, he heard somebody who was one of the rich people that said, we're leaving America. He said, you won't know America in 2 years' time. This is exactly what this gentleman said to me. He said, within 2 years, you will not recognize the United States of America. Now, if I could put it in everyday terms so that even I could understand it, the elite are laughing at the gullible, stupid American who has fallen for every line that they've put out there for you. You've taken that baseball apple pie and beer, you've run with it, and you're satisfied to take their job just over broke and accept what they have given you, and you have not risen up and rebelled. You've got to do something, folks. Now, please, I beg of you. All right, here we go. Within 2 years, nearly everyone will be working for the federal government. Did you hear this? He said this. He said almost everyone will be working for the federal government. Think about it for a moment. General Motors, they were about to go bankrupt. So who stepped in and bailed them out? The federal government. Who is the CEO of General Motors right now? The President of the United States of America. Who's the CEO of Chrysler? Everybody who works for General Motors or Chrysler is working for the federal government right now. How about the banks? They're taking them over 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 almost every weekend. Do you realize that they want to narrow it down to 9? Come on, you got to hear the figure. Put it down, write it down, and watch it happen. They're going to narrow it down to 9 major banks. Then they'll be able to bail out, and they already have, bail out the ones that are left.
Stay right there. Vertical integration of the economy, criminal consolidation, the globalist IMF, World Bank, G20 documents say as much as your source told you. We're going to continue to go through this, and then information we didn't get to yesterday, that's coming up. We're just recapping right now with Lindsey Williams. The Illusion